Education meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Cerrone?
Here.
Dr. Martin?
Here.
Dr. Murillo?
Here.
Dr. Polak?
Here.
Ms. Robinson?
Present.
Ms. C? Here. Ms. Wenma?
Here.
Okay, let's all stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. 4.1. Staff and student recognition.
So before we get started this evening, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Calgatti so we can take a quick moment.
Good evening, board, and those listening at home. We want to take a moment to acknowledge the sad news of the unexpected passing last week of Oswego East High School student, special education teacher, Paul Kittler. Mr. Kittler truly embodied the values of this community. He is greatly missed. We want to extend our condolences to his family, friends, and all the lives he has touched. Please join me in a moment of silence and thinking and recognizing the life of Mr. Kittler. Thank you. Back to you, Teresa.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Calgatti. All right, we're going to amp things up to an exciting moment now. Tonight, we are so excited to celebrate Black History Month, which is observed every February. This is a time for us to recognize the individuals who have impacted the past, continue to make a difference in the present, and will help us to shape the future. This evening, we're joined by several student guests who are eager to showcase their passions and talents. So if you guys want to come up, we'll start to introduce you. So first, we're going to hear from Amila Thomas, Autumn Meekins, and Kevin McIntosh to share about what they've prepared.
All right, so I'm Kevin McIntosh, and I'm here representing BSA, also known as Black Student Association. And within our club, we like to celebrate our culture and what we do mostly is we like to.
Hold the mic up closer.
Oh, my bad.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it's for
Should I
everybody
restart?
else. We heard you fine, but yeah, it's the
restart?
audience.
Start over. There we go.
Okay.
We want to
So my name is Kevin McIntosh, and I represent Black Student Association, also known as BSA, at Oswego High School. And within our organization, we like to put on different activities throughout the year, such as like Halloween, and currently we're about to go on a trip to an HBCU, in Tennessee. And in the recent years, we've been to Atlanta. We've been to where would we go? Alabama as well, things like that. And so within our club, we love to celebrate our Black history and like things like that. Within every single meeting, we put on a little presentation about Black inventors, such as last week we talked about the invention of the 3-light stoplight, which was a Black person who invented that. And we just love to show our dedication and things like that. So going around, we do all types of community service. Like not too long ago, we made blankets for NICU babies. So we made how many did we make? We made a lot. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Kind of what Kevin talked about. So I'm going to talk about the community service aspect.
Can you tell us who you are?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Amila Thomas, and I'm going to keep going on the community service aspect. So BSA really strives to show community service throughout our district, and we wanted to show everybody that we are here, and like the Black Student Association is not just something that's only happening once a week or like once every Thursday. We want to show everybody that we are here in the community. So with that, like Kevin said, we did the blanket making for Martin Luther King Jr. And we have other community services like Feed My Starving Children, and we've done that as a group. And then we also like to collab with OE and do things with them to keep like all of us like together as like one group. And I feel like that really helps too, because we get to uphold everything and be very great with all the community service we've done.
Hello, I'm Autumn Meekins, and I'm gonna be talking about like future dates and things like that. So this upcoming Friday, we're going to JJC for the Black Teen Summit, where multiple different schools come together and we talk about being great as African Americans and uplifting each other. And specifically during this time, they sometimes help seniors really push themselves and understand the process for going to college because we need more Black education, more Black educators. We're also having days where we go out as a group together and having days like that. So we're going bowling on Monday, February 16th. And then later on, we're having our Black Excellence Ball, which is February 21st. And that's where we honor all of our honor students, our Black honor students at the school, and uphold like all their achievements throughout the year because it was a very long year and a very hard year, but we all stayed determined and we all got our grades up. And then later on, at the end of this great month, we're going to be going to Tennessee, as my other board members have told you guys about.
Okay, so a little bit more about the ball. What that is, as Autumn kind of explained, is that all the honor students of Black Student Association who have over a 3.5 GPA will get a certificate and they will get honored with a crown. And we've done this for the last few years. My mom has really taken account of making sure that every student gets to be seen throughout the school. Even if you're not in Black Student Association, you still get invited because you want to be seen. And you get honored and you get recognized through dinner, and everybody gets to show up. You get to have dinner and then you have a party afterwards, and it's this great thing that we've got to do for the last few years. And so more recently it's become more popular and more people have like seen what it's about and seen how it's growing. And so yeah,
So where is it?
it's at Oswego.
Oswego on the 21st, right?
Yes, which is a Saturday.
Do we have Kobe doing some artwork?
Wow.
Hi, my name is Kobe Jones, and I'm going to be presenting some artwork that I've made in the past year during my time at AP 2D Art and Design. So I'm going to start with this piece. It's color pencil, and it basically resembles like what like African American children, specifically like little girls, what they've worn in their hair and stuff, and how like it really expresses like color throughout their hair and like how they can express themselves. And then this one, it's a painting I made with acrylic paint, and I used hues black and blue, and I also added like a 3D touch to show like how African American females and how they try to like express themselves through their afros, and they really can't do that sometimes, and how it makes them feel and how the community sees it as. And then this one right here, I used oil pastel. I was trying to do something new, and I think it's very successful. And basically, again with the afro, I was trying to show how afros are so big and expressive, and how I feel like it should really be something that we like use in our community to express ourselves even more. Because I feel like in our community nowadays, we don't really use our afros to express ourselves, and we use hairstyles that like are influenced onto us. And I just really like kind of like emphasize how big and fun they can be.
Amazing. And to finish us out, we have Kirsa Downs to sing a song.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you to all of you for sharing your wonderful talents with us. Don't run off too quick, Board. We're going to ask you if you join us in the middle so we can take a celebratory photo with our students here this evening, and then we have a certificate and a little gift for you. Thank you all so much for being here.
Yeah. I love that. 5.1. Presentations for summer school.
Right. Thank you, Board. It seems like it's far away, but for us, our team has been deep in the thick of it, getting ready for what's to come. So we turn over to the team.
All right, good evening, Board. I'm excited to present to you an overview of summer school this summer here in Oswego. I'm joined by Dr. Dubiel, our Assistant Superintendent of Diverse Learners. And we wanted to give you an overview of really why we do summer school annually. We know that learning does not stop after the official school year ends. We want to give our students opportunities for not only enrichment, but opportunities to continue to build on skills and also transition to potentially that next level of learning for them. So we're going to give you an overview of the students that we are serving during summer school, as well as more specific details about the things I mentioned, like academic support, credit recovery, enrichment, as well as acceleration. So to start off, I'm going to share a little bit about what our elementary students have opportunities for over the summer. We have something called Summer Connections. We do this annually for kindergarten through 7th grade. This year, it will be hosted at Fox Chase and Grand Park. You can see the dates listed on the screen as well as the times. In addition, we also provide more learning opportunities using a curricular resource called Scholastic, and that is for English and math, and our students have opportunities to continue to build on skills in those two areas. We also offer something called Step Up to Kindergarten. We've really seen quite an increase of students who have attended this program over the years. We're really intentional about inviting students that attend our Early Learning Center, as well as reach out to our community and encourage our early learners to attend the Step Up to Kindergarten experience as they transition to kindergarten. This year, it'll be held at Long Beach and Old Post, and it'll be early August to really kind of capture that essential learning as they transition into kindergarten. We are excited to continue to provide maker spaces in our elementary schools this summer. This is something we started several years ago. It's really that opportunity for kids to create and innovate. We have a variety of different resources, and we've provided training over the years to help our teachers really create those amazing spaces for kids. And we include our families too. It's really fun to see our families participate in that as well. And finally, we're going to continue our summer tutoring with our partner, Huntington Learning Center. We've partnered with them for the last couple summers. We're really targeted at providing that intentional tutoring for our students that attend Long Beach and Old Post. And what's great about it too is we give our students a pre and post test to see their skill development, where they're at when they enter the tutoring, and then where they end up at the end of the summer. And that data is shared with our elementary schools so they can hear and learn more about how to support their students. Our junior high offerings are at the dates you see listed in June. It is self-paced through Edgenuity. That's a platform we use throughout our system for the last several years. It's very individualized and self-paced, especially for our learners that are accelerating a whole grade level. This can be really important because when they start the year, often when you accelerate a whole grade level, there's a grade level that maybe they skipped, and this provides that intentional instruction to help them continue to be successful in areas like math. Teacher support is the dates listed there, and that transitions into high school offerings. You can see this year it's at Oswego East. We have opportunities for our students that is self-paced, both initial credit and credit recovery, again through Edgenuity. And Dr. Dubiel is going to give you an overview of our ESY program throughout our district.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. So extended school year ESY is for students with an IEP. It is designed for students to recoup any learning that was previously needing to be enhanced during that summer school opportunity. It is aimed towards academics, but related services are provided for students if it is determined in the student's IEP. The staffing model for ESY will depend on the program. So we have 5 sites for ESY this year. That is a Broke Hall, Oswego High School, that will be for grades 6 through 12. Prairie Point, which will house our elementary EVA, Skills and Stars program. And then Churchill, which will house our DHH, ISP, Resource, and RISE, and then Transition for the students in pathways. So as part of getting this organized and early, there's a lot of moving parts. So we actually coordinated pretty mid to late fall to get this going, because ESY is not our only summer school opportunity. We actually have to hire for site coordinators about this time of year because they have to hire the staff, the internal staff that will be facilitating and teaching during our summer school or our ESY. We have institute days, so right after school is officially let out and before ESY begins, which I believe is January 2nd, we have a small window where we're able to provide institute days for our staff and build their capacity to be ready for ESY. We also work very closely with transportation, not just ESY, but Summer Connections as well, because we really are running a full-scale summer opportunities for multiple programs within the district. Pretty soon, the registration for ESY will open up. Families are invited to participate in that during the IEP process. We will be hiring, again, we hired for the site coordinators. Very soon we will be hiring for the staff and the related services, the nursing supports that will be needed during this time. And then case managers continue to work very closely with the team and families to communicate the timeline for ESY. Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question regarding the ESY. Last year, we had some pain points. So are we benchmarking that data to see how we can do better this year, especially when it pertains to transportation?
Pain points, are you referencing transportation?
For ESY over summer, yeah. We
Yeah,
had a lot of pain points.
So that's one of the reasons why we started early. So this year we started earlier than ever to plan for transportation. So transportation has been a thought partner with all of the summer schools. So one of the things that was new this year is ESY has probably met with transportation historically, but it wasn't ESY and Summer Connections and Summer Bridge all meeting with transportation. So one thing that was new this year is we brought all the thought partners that were leading all of the summer school opportunities to come together early in the year, and transportation was part of that conversation so that we can have a smoother transportation operation.
And then for the ESY program, I noticed in being a parent of a neurodiverse child, the ESY program is not necessarily as fluid when it comes to curriculum. So has that been benchmarked and kind of studied to figure out how we can better service our children during the summer?
So the curriculum models, what we do for the school year, I think across the system, we're constantly finding ways to improve the curriculums, the interventions, the resource related to curriculums. So right now, currently, the students that will be participating in ESY will be for that curriculum or that regression that may have occurred during the school year. Now, the curricular resource may vary depending on the program. So for example, STARS will utilize an alternative or replacement curriculum, whereas skills will use general education curriculum. Now, the curriculum improvement that needs to occur, that's still very much in the cycle, and we're still very much working with that to improve that.
So does that mean by the time summer hits, it'll still be kind of in
Yeah,
pilot
we're
mode?
currently in phase 3 of the curriculum renewal cycle for ELA K through 5.
Okay, thank you.
I asked this at our committee meeting as well because we saw a preview of this, but could you just talk a little bit about how multilingual learners are supported through these programs?
Yep, so they get to participate in Summer Connection. So Summer Connection is for general education students, and it supports any student that is eligible or is highly recommended to participate in recouping academics. So it's not just ML students, but students in our TBE program. So
But
we
that's
have
where they
dual
would-
language pieces
Yeah.
as part of Summer Connections.
Yeah, that's where they would be pulled in, would be through the summer connections piece.
Correct.
Thank you.
Are there any plans or thoughts of moving away from the ingenuity model and having actual live teachers again?
We are currently discussing that. We have been the last couple of years. We are not ready yet to explore other learning platforms, but that is a conversation we've been having internally.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that the naming of the forward thinking in terms of what the board the team has done is very helpful, and I'm glad that you named that for the board. We recognize that there were a lot of new folks last year, and that also included opportunities for those pain points. So now this is really exciting news to know that.
6.1, superintendent's comments.
Right.
Report.
Sure thing. So, good evening, board. I would like to first thank everyone just for the support this evening with our students from the Black Student Association. That was really special, and it fit right in with my comments. As I think about this month, as we lean into Black History Month, this is a period of reflection. All of our months throughout the year are opportunities to reflect on our history, our collective history, and to provide those windows and mirrors into our lives and into our work and what brings importance to our work. For me, I was born in West Africa, growing up there, many thousands of miles away. It was a time for me when my mother, she was born here in the States, when even though I was born far away, she brought to me the history of Black History Month in Togo, West Africa. And this year, I was at an event last week that really reminded me of that story, that my mom really made that very special for me. And telling stories throughout my childhood, even though I was in a predominantly, in Togo, in Lomé, where the idea of the experience of the African-American struggle was not prominent, she made sure that as I grew up as her Black son, that I understood what her journey was like in America, and that she had to confront the negative messages in schools. She actually grew up in a segregated school system in New Orleans, and really the stories of my childhood, of her childhood, which she conveyed to me about how her community had overcome to really bring excellence into her life and to ensure that all the children in her experience were given the best that they could. So those stories traveled across an ocean to reach me as a child. And last week I joined really a host of community leaders at a Black Coalition Empowerment event in Aurora, where there was no less than 50 leaders from, there were people from Oswego, from Aurora, from Plainfield, leaders who came together to reflect. And there at that night, I actually ran into former Mayor Irvin, who shared with me something that I thought was very apropos to share with the board this evening, which is that his great-grandfather, he always corrects me, not great-great-great-great-grandfather, so one generation back, actually was born in Tennessee, into slavery, and left that, escaped that, and came here in 1859 and rose through resilience. He was actually not allowed to live in Aurora, and as a result of that, settled on the Fox River here in Oswego. Did not know that. That was a big surprise. And so Mr. Richard Baxter Irvin rose through resilience and skill and really became a part of shaping the village of Oswego. Many of the structures in older Oswego, he probably had a hand in building. And really, he was a mason. We talk about the trades quite a bit. We hear about the importance of the trades. And here was a gentleman whose history we can look back to, where he brought that craftsmanship, that perseverance, and that sense of belonging in our community. What I have come to learn is that Black History Month is not as simply about remembering the past. It's about recognizing that the past lives in us, our families, our communities, and the places we call home. It is not something just for people of African descent. It's for all Americans to really understand that it's our history, not their history, someone else's history. It's a part of our history. It's a moment to look at that, and I'm so grateful for the students who spoke tonight. I want to reaffirm our district's unwavering commitment to every student. Everything we do begins and ends with them. The structures we are working to build, these are not things that are just like the mason does. It's not something that's just fixed immediately. It takes time, brick by brick. We have to commit to systems of equity and justice. Amid a busy year, it's important for us to pause and celebrate the things that are happening in our schools and the diverse community that we have and make SD308 so special. And it truly is a collective effort. Our school serves as bridges, and for those reasons, I just invite everyone to really think about, with every recognition, every time we have an opportunity, how can we make more bridges in our work with each other? I want to now invite the board to share some of the other many highlights that are coming this moment, but I thought the board would appreciate this opportunity and the community to hear about the legacy of an individual who really stood up in a period and brought in. I don't know if you've ever seen Mr. Mayor, but that person is undeniably his great-grandfather, just from the way he stands. So.
Did he share the picture? Or
Yeah, he shared it with me.
Did we find the article, or did he share?
No,
the
he shared that with me too.
Okay.
He gave it to me. I texted him over the weekend and said,
They
"Can you
going
send
way
me?"
back.
I said, "Can you send me anything you have?" And he said, "Yeah, I'll send it to you." So I thought it was pretty special for us to know the history of an individual in our community. So, in 1903, actually, I will say, and he was part of that. If you know Matt Kellogg and his brother, their great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, right, opened the first one school community in our community, and his dad, great-great-great-grandfather, was a teacher here in Oswego. And I love to think about the fact that this gentleman and Matt Kellogg's were all connected, because it was such a small, intimate community. In fact, when I was reading this over the weekend, there was actually, they lived side by side. They actually lived side by side. And in 1903, we had the first African-American to graduate from our high school here in Oswego. So you've got to think about that, right? So it can be rough sometimes in our community, but it's really that roughness also speaks to that there are also many points of light where we see justice and inclusivity continue to shine through. So something to be proud of when we think about our community, something to hang on to. So
appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Congratulations to instructor Megan McCarthy and her Oswego High School students on winning the state floral design competition at the College of DuPage on January 30th.
This competition allows students to shine through their floral design-related skills, and the OHS team has dominated the space, winning first place most years they attend.
Cool. Some exciting news from the Southwest Prairie Conference. Oswego East High School is the Scholastic Bowl champion of the SPCI of the SPC. The varsity team went a perfect 20-0 in the conference this year. Additionally, the boys varsity and junior varsity co-op swim and dive teams won the SPC championship this weekend. Congratulations to these students.
Congratulations to the OHS co-ed cheer team for competing at the state level for the 4th year in a row. Additionally, several of our student athletes were honored during last week's National Signing Day. Congratulations to these students from OHS and OEHS who have committed to continuing their academic and athletic careers at the collegiate level.
The Plank Junior High School robotics team, the Octobots, are heading to the first Illinois Robotics State Championship this weekend. The Octobots earned second place in robot performance and received the Engineering Excellence Award at the Batavia Sectional Competition. Congratulations and good luck to the team.
The Changemakers Club at Grand Park Elementary School has been hard at work giving back. Students made tie blankets for Project Linus, an organization that provides handmade blankets to bring comfort to children in need. Prairie Point's Helping Hands Club also volunteered at Feed My Starving Children recently. We're so proud of these students for modeling our values in the community.
The Murphy Junior High School Spelling Bee was exciting. A number of skilled spellers participated in the competition, and after 28 rounds, Bridget Isaacs became the champion. Bridget will be representing Murphy in the upcoming Grundy-Kendall County Regional Spelling Bee in March. Congratulations and good luck, Bridget.
Our girls bowling team saw success at the regional championship. OEHS won and OHS took fourth. Both teams have qualified to compete at sectionals. Additionally, OEHS wrestlers Quinn Jasons and Ella Cooper had strong performances at regionals to qualify for sectionals. OHS gymnast Sarah Danson and Suba Kanan and Caddy McDonald, Franny Schultz, Ali Ziba also qualified for sectionals. Congratulations and good luck to all.
And with that, that concludes my superintendent comments. Thank you, board.
7.1, opportunity for the public to address the Board of Education.
Yes, we have a couple.
We do have some comments today. So on behalf of the Board of Education, I would like to thank the public for attending tonight's meeting. We value the feedback we receive from our members of the public and encourage everyone to take an active interest in their public school system. Individuals interested in speaking to the board this evening are asked to have completed a comment card and presented it to the secretary to the board. Any members of the public who have not yet turned in their public comment card to the secretary of the board are asked to do so at this time. When the secretary calls your name, I ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and for the public record, and provide your feedback. Please note that comments are limited to 5 minutes per person and no responses to your questions are permitted. Comments should address the Board of Education as a whole and not be directed to an individual board member, audience, or staff member. Follow-up to your questions or concerns may be addressed by administration through the contact information provided on the comment card. Thank you.
Grayson Kramer. It's at the table up front there.
Hello, the board. We understand that in the community, there's been recent protests at schools, and we wanted to take a moment to actually come and address the board directly. We have a speech from one of the students at OE that he wanted to share.
Hello, Board of Education. My name is Grayson Kramer, and I'm here to present my speech on the protest going on at Oswego East and Oswego High School about ICE. We've been told for countless years that we live in a country where there is justice. But what is justice when there have been homes raided, families taken, and ICE has been stuffing people into centers where they are without freedom. The protests at our OEHS and OHS will not only stand up for our own rights and morals, but it can exhibit our own values, which are being violated by ICE on a daily basis. The First Amendment of the Constitution states U.S. citizens with 5 core freedoms: religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. Now let's take a quick look at the actions ICE has done over the past year. With the right of religion, ICE has continually disregarded religious practices and confiscated various items that express identity. With the right of free speech, many reports have indicated that ICE has targeted activists for their protests, and more specifically, the No Kings protest that occurred. With the right of press and assembly, ICE agents have stopped, threatened, or confiscated many devices from citizens filming in public, or even within their own homes. And finally, for the right of petition, ICE has refused direct court orders to refuse immigrants that have been detained. Now, I and the rest of the people who have organized this protest all agree that everybody is entitled to their own opinion, whether or not society believes it is correct or not. But we have done our research in this matter, and we have met with our school to ensure that the protest will remain safe and peaceful. We as American citizens should have the right to express ourselves, and I know that we can continue doing this with the future. Thank you.
Thank you, board, for hearing him out. And we just wanted to make sure that the district is taking the effective measures to make sure that all students are staying safe, and that they're taking the measures to, push back against ICE and stuff like that. I know that there's been much pushback from parents about this, and I've seen a lot on Facebook. They've been attacking students directly, and they've been, from what I've heard, spamming the district with emails about this. And we just wanted to let you know this is completely peaceful. We're working with the school to make sure that we can do this effectively to keep all students safe. And we're not here to riot. We're here just to peacefully get our voices heard as students, as we're not able to vote. Sorry. But we want to still get our voices heard. Thank you very much. And so many students around the school have been trying to just help support this, even if their parents are saying no. I had students coming up to me, making pins even just today, making signs at home and trying to get the word out, even by putting on their social media stories or making videos about it. Even the social media TikTok that we made for this already reached over 450 followers. And I think that really just shows what the student body wants. Is there anything you'd like?
We're doing this protest to voice those who cannot have a voice, those who are too afraid to even go outside their homes because of all the horrible things that ICE has done. And we just hope that the district can have those proper measures to keep students safe, as well as staff members. I agree with what my partners have said. I just want to point out, just making sure everyone knows, again, this is just a safe protest, and everyone is entitled to their opinion. So, of course, we respect everybody. And, yeah, that's...
Also, there has been a Facebook group growing around spreading much false information. No students are being pressured into doing this. And I know that there were some things about threats, but from what I looked out, from what I heard, they were all just things taken either out of context. I don't really know what they were saying in there, but one of them was, "We like our ice crush." That was apparently a threat, according to a Facebook group. I don't really understand what they're trying to say, but it's clear that they're just taking out their political beliefs on students. And I had a friend who got personal information leaked on one of these groups, and it's just been really crazy. But we hope that the district can just support this and allow us to show our voices. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, please let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sit down.
Yes.
Yep.
Cheryl Flynn.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cheryl Flynn. I am the president of EPAC, the Special Needs PTA for Oswego School District. I'm here to advocate for our neurodivergent students and the families who fight for them every single day. For every year my children have been in the district, I have asked that we formally recognize Autism Acceptance Week. And yes, there has been progress. The district moved from not doing anything at a district level to just last year, encouraging schools to participate in a Spirit Week focused on autism and neurodivergent acceptance. That matters. Progress always matters. But let me be clear, it's still not enough. Autism diagnoses have increased by nearly 300% over the past 20 years. Improved screening and awareness explains some of that, but the reality remains. These numbers are significant. Black children are diagnosed at a rate of 1 in 27 compared to 1 in 36 for white children. In some regions, the rate is as high as 1 in 19. These are not statistics on a page. These are real children, our children, sitting in classrooms, walking hallways, and trying to figure out where they belong. Illinois recognizes the first week of April as Autism Awareness and Acceptance Week and encourages schools and communities to participate in educational events. Current legislation also supports neurodivergence education in K through 8 schools, but whether something is mandated or not should never be the question. The question should be, is it right? And education and acceptance are not optional, they are essential. My own children survived junior high because of educators who truly saw them, who chose understanding over convenience and compassion over silence. When I first pushed for Autism Acceptance Week at that level, someone asked me, "What do you want?" My answer was simple. I don't want a classroom announcement. I want the school. I want the same energy we give every other Spirit Week. Last year, Murphy Junior High delivered exactly that. They hosted a Spirit Week, distributed neurodivergent acceptance pins, facilitated real conversations about differences, and the mural club painted an autism acceptance mural in the main hallway. This was a school without an autism program, yet they showed up fully. They didn't just participate, they led, and they proved it can be done well. This is not about blame. This is about leadership. This is about a culture. This is about whether we are willing to stand together as a community and say that every child deserves to be seen, valued, and understood. As president of EPAC, I have had the privilege of witnessing what happens when educators choose to lead. Through our collaborative EPAC elementary gym nights, Amy Walters, an adaptive PE teacher, brought together staff volunteers and community organizations to create inclusive spaces where students can simply belong. More recently, EPAC hosted a junior high and high school gym night, and I attended with my children. When we left, my son had a smile from ear to ear. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens because another educator, Robin Smith, who is an adaptive PE teacher at OHS, rallied incredible support from the school community. I was inspired by that gym night, so when I thanked Robin, I told her I was rewriting my public comment for tonight to include the gym nights. She replied, "Collab PE has changed the culture at OHS so much over the years. It's one of the things I'm most proud of in my career." That is leadership. That is commitment. That is what happens when adults decide our kids are worth the effort. Today, I am asking the board to take the next step, create a district level committee to plan and implement a week of acceptance during the first week of April in honor of our neurodivergent population. A committee that includes parents, educators, administrators, and community members. A committee that ensures consistency, visibility, and a meaningful engagement across all schools, and that continues supporting our students beyond a single week. We cannot be broken, not when it comes to our kids, not when it comes to inclusion, not when it comes to doing what is right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
8.1, our student board member reports.
Good evening, board. We just want to give you an update on what SSAC has been doing. You know, it's the funny thing is because like at the start of the year, we had the idea of hosting a lunch and learn, which you all have been with us on, and the progression that we've, you know, embarked and the amount of effort we've put into it, and now seeing the action plan come into fruition is just a really beautiful moment. I'm happy to be part of it, have the opportunity to contribute to that. So really grateful and really gratified for that opportunity. So to go over the highlights of what happened at our last SSAC meeting that we had 4 days ago, we were discussing the lunch and learn. Now we're getting close to the date. The date for the lunch and learn at OE will be on the February 19th, which is a Thursday. And OHS's will be at on March 3rd, which is a Tuesday. So those are our 2 lunch and learn dates.
What time? Is it just like 10:30 to 2 or whatever?
It'll be during lunch.
During all the lunches?
Yeah, because these are school days. So from 4th period, 5th period, 6th period, and 7th period. So that's 4 periods of lunch for students to come in, teachers to come in and improve the relationships. So at this SSAC meeting, the biggest thing I could really say is that we grasped a visual of like really like the event, because we actually visited the community room and just being able to conceptualize what are we looking at? Do we have tables here? Do we have chairs here? How many chairs are we going to have? Where's the food going to be? Is it going to be in the back? What is the visual going to look like, right? What's the plan? What's the idea? So just being able to have that idea planted in all of the SSAC members, that we can cohesively work together. That was just a beautiful moment. And it was really the stepping stone into our action plan. Some of the perspectives that the students were providing at the SSAC meeting were regarding like the delegation of roles, because this is an event, we need people, we need volunteers. And at that meeting, we were encouraging those opportunities for the students. So we actually have a couple of members who have received club incorporation and support from BSA, Bionic, and Coalition. So they're willing to give volunteers for this event and to support that lunch and learn. We also have our assistant student ambassador for Board of Education, Joel Asuke. He has volunteered to specialize in the decorations and design of the lunch and learn, because I mean, if we're going to host it, it's got to be very inviting.
Nice.
Right? We have to make sure that the students come in and they're enthusiastic and they're in a very comfortable environment. We also had another student member at SSAC, Milo, who will be in charge for creating the upbeat music to also ensure, you know, a comfortable environment, because, you know, this is, we're building some steam here, right? You can see we're placing one block on the other and we're getting there. So, and during the lunch and learn event, we really want to capture like what's going on, what the interactions are looking like. So, one of our student ambassadors and also on the board meeting, on the SSAC board, Manal, she actually had the idea, and also Sahara had the idea to have to incorporate Coco Note AI. It's an AI tool that we can use that will record the conversations and then create summaries, create a podcast, maybe create some other form of writing that will be used for feedback and reflection. So, you know, being able to capture and convert like any sort of source into like summaries and organized notes, that's really an effective way to you know, provide future reflection and to also like see what it will be like next year. So yeah, that's pretty much what we were looking at past SAC meeting. So yeah.
Hello, everyone. Just to touch base a little bit on the use of this AI tool. A lot of people think that AI is kind of a way to like cheat a code, but we're using CocoNote as a way to find statistics and to find like our qualitative feedback for our study, which is obviously our lunch and learn. CocoNote will be listening to different groups at different times and then automate a transcript, which then will put into a different AI tool, which was introduced by Ms. Pryor, who also introduced it to her other peers as well, which would turn our conversation into podcasts. So then we could hear back what other students were talking about and kind of finalize and see what we can change in future plans. This following week, OE has sent out invitations for the Lunch and Learn to staff and for only staff, but we are currently training student leaders from other clubs such as Bionic, Coalition, Lasso, BSA to come and help out during these lunch periods. Will be from 10:02 to 1:07, I believe, the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th for our lunch periods at these schools. We really want to emphasize the importance of these lunch and learns, which is to connect with student-teacher relationships and to understand what we can work on and kind of look forward to for the future within these groups. And then also said OE's lunch and learn is going to be on the 19th and ours will be on March 3rd. And then we have a meeting this week in which we'll talk about like training of the volunteers and the note takers who will facilitate the entire group.
Looking forward to the output.
Thank you.
And I hope I can come by and kind of check it out a little bit, but it's been a little work there. So, any questions or?
No, just thank you. We're looking forward to hearing how it goes and getting some feedback. So thank you guys for all the hard work and organizing. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think I can be there for March 3rd, so I'll definitely check it out.
Great.
No?
Okay.
Just look forward to hearing about it.
Unless there's anything else, we'll move to 8.2, the board committee reports. And it looks like it was just
us.
Just us.
Just fun.
We held the Equity and Learning and Innovation committee meeting. Just a quick synopsis. There's notes in our report in our board agenda, but we saw the same presentation about summer school and was able to ask some questions about that. And then we had an update on all our actions around equity and cultural responsiveness, presentation on that. Lots of things that are, lots of efforts obviously in that area. And I was reflecting at that meeting about how much we've done, not just in the last 2 years since I've been on the board, but for several years. I feel like in some ways, Oswego has been a leader in this area and thinking about it. So just continue that good work.
All right. 8.3, board member comments. I'll start over.
Sure. I attended both the Epic Open Gym Night on Thursday, and it was really cool to watch. All the collab PE students that were there were cheering everyone when they walked through the door, and
Oh yeah.
it wound up some sort of game that no one really knows what the rules are, which are always the most fun. And they were all scooting around on carts. So
That was Churchill, right?
no, it was at Oswego High School
Oh, okay.
because I got to see the new floor. It looks awesome.
Oh.
I think that we need to do a better job of advertising those because I've found out that a lot of people didn't realize that was happening. I think it would be a great event to continue. I also went to the Community versus Cancer event on Saturday, and mostly because the Special Olympics team was doing a scrimmage between the girls varsity and the boys varsity games. And I will say the atmosphere in that room was amazing. Every basket was cheered like it was the Final Four. I mean, it was nuts. And the kids all had the biggest smiles on their faces. And I was really impressed with a lot of the students were just coming up and say hi to the Special Olympics team. So following with what Cheryl was saying, I think there's a lot of, I think we have to give a lot of credit to the students because they are definitely leading the way on this idea of including everybody. But yeah, it was a really cool event, and I'm glad we got to host it.
So many of you know I'm a gymnast mom, and so I've done a lot of gymnastic meets these past, I want to say, last couple of months. We're on the tail end of the season, so I'm really excited because our girls are doing a phenomenal job. Our JV team just finished up a couple weeks ago. However, we have, I want to say, a meet on Saturday, so I'm really excited about that and those opportunities. And I look forward to talking about a win, right, at our next board meeting. Also, that being said, I'm just really proud to be on, to sit on a board where we have the Black National Anthem sang during a board meeting. That was really powerful in a great way, you know, to honor Black History Month and just to honor the diversity that's here in the district. So that's what I have.
Oh gosh. I feel like the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday is very Monday-y. It's a very Monday-y Monday. Yes. Right after the last board meeting, I had the opportunity to attend the legislative breakfast, which was kind of a collaboration. It was a bunch. I think it was hosted by the Village. Did the Village put that together?
Yes.
Thank you to the Village for putting that together. But it was all of the legislators who serve our community, as well as all of the public entities within our community, and we each kind of had the opportunity to talk about what we're doing in our own spaces, and talk about what needs there are for advocacy from our legislators. And one thing that came up that was really kind of exciting, I think it was our last board meeting where we recognized and congratulated our next gen cohort completers. And so that actually came up. State Senator Logan Kappel, who is the chair of the Senate Education Committee, was talking about how when those grants come up, she frequently cites our 308's kind of execution of the grant and how they are using that money to support and grow their own kind of community and promote from within. And so just hearing her recognize that and knowing that she recognizes that throughout the state, especially because it was maybe 36 hours after we had recognized our own teachers who had just completed their hard work. It was really great. So shout out to everyone that has had a hand in executing that program, as well as all of the people going through it. You are doing wonderful work, and we appreciate you.
I feel compelled to share some thoughts on our students and the protest that was held, or the walkout that was held with OHS students, and the students that are planning for the OEHS walkout. As Dr. Calgary and his team has specifically stated, you know, our district is not sanctioning those, you know, events. We are not, you know, advocating for or against them. Our concern is student safety, and making sure that that our students are safe, and that they also have an opportunity to express their First Amendment rights. But my comments are a little bit more broad in that, although it's not a school-sanctioned event, I think we can all agree that education happens both inside the school and outside of the school. Outside of the four walls of schools, all of us have learned so much about life and civic life and relationships. And I myself, as I reflect on my, you know, education broadly, most of what I have learned has happened outside of classrooms. With that, I would just offer some reflection on how we worked on that at our house. So we had we have a daughter who participated in the walkout at OHS, and while we were talking about it the night before, as part of her education, we made sure that she understood what she was walking out for, what the consequences were, how to do it in a peaceful way, how to abide by laws, and that in itself is really an education. And so I encourage all the adults in our community to whether or not they agree with the students or not, that they take an opportunity to think about how they might use this as an educational moment outside of the school walls. And I'll just leave it at that for now.
I just got sandwiched in the middle. But I'm gonna piggyback actually off of what you said. I truly believe that although I personally am not an educator, I truly believe that education happens both inside and outside. People will often bring up math and reading scores, and those are really important. But so is learning to be a well-rounded individual. And I refer to the events that have happened, but there are other things too. I think the goal of education is really to raise students to be our future, to be free thinkers and to be able to assess information on their own and to go for the truth. So on that, in the past couple weeks, I would like to recognize some of the events that I've been at. Speaking of free thinkers and talented individuals, we have so many in the school district. First of all, I wanted to quickly shout out, to continue our tour of schools, I'd like to thank the teams at Grand Park, Trauber, and the Wheatlands that we've been to in the past couple weeks. I'd like to thank them for their ideas, for their thoughts, for their openness, as we try to get kind of a feel for where each individual school is at. So we do appreciate their time and effort. I made the drive down to Peoria one day. Got myself a speeding ticket too, which I will not charge to the charge to the district. But anyway, I went. Unless you don't like, I could do a GoFundMe. Anyway, I went down to Peoria, as I said, to check out the ILMEA performance by Oswego East and by Bednarsik. So it was Oswego East Wind Symphony and Bednarsik's Symphonic Band. And I'll tell you, we have, I'm saying it too much. We have some really talented individuals. Their performances both were, they were astounding. And hats off to the students, to the directors, to the parents, and for everyone who put in so much hard work. It definitely paid off. There were a lot of compliments that I heard as I was walking out. So again, congratulations to both of those schools there. Following along on Bednarsik, I happened to accidentally on purpose run into the Science Bowl that was happening at Murphy Junior High. Boy, that's nerve-wracking. They were teams of junior high students that were being asked questions by professionals from places like Argonne, and a team competition. And I'm happy to report that Bednarsik placed third out of the 10 teams. So congratulations to them. And then also really quickly went to the Mosaic Multicultural event at Oswego East. Ate more food than I really needed to, but it was amazing. And shout out to the table from India with their mango dessert. Well, I would have gone back for more, but anyway, there were performances as well. It was well done, as it always is. And then finally, the last multicultural night that I stopped by at was at Fox Chase, which was also very well attended. So enough from me. Thank you to all of our students, to our parents, to our teachers and staff that helped to make our district great.
Well, thank you. I went to a few of those things.
You did?
But not going to rehash. But yeah, at Fox Chase, a lot of familiar faces and a lot of smiles for sure. I think we're going over to 9 point, or no, give me a second. 9.1, the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I make a motion to approve all items under consent, including 9.1, minutes from the Board of Education meeting on January 26, 2026, open and closed sessions. 9.2, to acknowledge the FOIA requests received by the district. 9.3, to approve field trips for overnight and or more than 200 miles.
Second.
I have a quick question about the FOIA request. I'm not sure who to direct it to.
We're ready.
for my own educational purposes, I know that in the report there are several pending requests, and I'm just wondering, and that number seems to be a little higher, like higher than usual than it has been in the past. So I'm wondering what our obligation is as a district to stay on top of those requests and what those timelines look like. Or is it-
Typically,
go ahead.
typically, if it's a pending request, it means that we've requested additional time on them.
Oh, okay.
And there are very tight deadlines around those.
Okay.
They are going to be really a result when it goes to pending is we're still assessing how much time it's going to take those.
Okay.
Unfortunately, for some of them and the types of when they come in, there's attorney review that's involved in those, so they become very cost overwhelming for our system. And so when you see pending, it's because we've gotten a voluminous number of reports.
Yeah.
And so, but they are all time bound, and there are very specific guidelines that are communicated to the individual about when they'll get the final response. Heather, Dr. Kincaid, this lives in your department specifically, so you want to add to that?
So there is an initial timeline, but we do have the ability to request additional time.
Okay.
So as Dr. Caligati mentioned, we do remain within those. Sometimes there is some additional dialogue in situations where the FOIA is just too broad. It's either voluminous or potentially no record. So
Yeah.
there is communication though within, and we stay within the guidelines, even when there are attorney communications.
Okay.
And just related to that too, we've seen lately a significant number of FOIAs from different groups being sent to other school districts and asking for similar information. A lot of documents are being requested at the same time, to the point where attorneys that represent school district as well as community group have introduced legislation to be considered by the state legislature to try to help school district manage that. And what is happening because of the volume of that is a significant amount of money that school districts are incurring in attorney's fees to be able to fulfill that requirement. And sometimes some of the requests are intentionally burdensome and just voluminous. The expectation that the requester will be able to get the attorney's fee paid for. So it's becoming a significant problem. So that 4 bills were introduced before the legislator to be considered this legislative session.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, there are examples that have emerged from legal reporting that I've learned where they're using AI to send in multiple FOIAs to a school district or Autobots, right? And then there's an attorney behind it, and then when the district has said this is voluminous, whatever, then they've filed appeal, and then they've gone to court, and then they've settled out of court. So they're using it as an opportunity to essentially sue school districts to get money. I'm not saying that these are what's represented in any of ours,
Of course,
but there are that is something that in speaking with attorneys recently, I've learned that is becoming a pretty standard practice now because they're able to send 1,000. We have 800 districts, so you can send to every single district in seconds multiple FOIA requests. And then if we don't fulfill it, you can then turn around and say, well, if you do this, then we're going to sue you for whatever rights there are. So it's becoming a scam.
So would you say just outside of like resources or financial resources, because we'd have to pay attorneys for a lot of this, when we talk about staffing and staff resources and the number of people that you have to put in front of this to ensure that we are meeting the deadlines, that would be burdensome as well.
Absolutely.
Well, it pulls away. So we have an individual who manages the incoming requests, and then you're involving technology department, and then you're involving an attorney, and then you're involving the deputy superintendent who manages that department, and then it's going to then go. So and then if it's a specific ask for, let's say, the communications office or the human resources office, so now you're impacting all those individuals, and so schools department. So you're looking at, honestly, from a taxpayer. So again, not to dissuade anybody from submitting a FOIA. In fact, that is the right, and that is an important part of our transparency. But the first question would be, is that information available online? And then to create that information, what is the impact of it? So, and what's the goal? So,
Thank you. Education pieces for me.
Did we did second?
I second it.
Any other discussion?
Miss C?
Aye.
Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Miss Robinson?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Mr. Cerrone?
Aye.
Miss Wenmouth?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. 10, information for 10.1 ESL course proposal and recommendations.
Welcome, Ms. Lopez.
Thank you. All right, good evening. My name is Maria Lopez. I am the Director of Multilingual Learners in our wonderful district. Tonight, we are coming to discuss or share and inform on a new ESL course proposal, as well as a recommendation for change in a current ESL course that we have, 2 courses that we have at the high school, at both high schools. So for our current curriculum course change recommendations, right now we have an ESL 1 course that is for EL students at OH, and as well as ESL 2 class right now at the high schools. We're looking to change the names of the ESL courses because we wanted to reflect correctly on the transcript, so it doesn't look like the students are taking the courses out of order. So right now, our recommendation for ESL 1 for this upcoming, currently it's named ESL 1. For next year, it would be Foundations. ESL 2 is for next, actually, we want to change that to Connections. And then we are looking to ESL 2 is not a course that we will be necessarily running next year. We'll be running ESL 1 and 1 course proposal that we would like to discuss in a moment. But the purpose for those changes, and I'll share the name of the other course in a moment, is really so that that reflects on the transcript and it doesn't look like the students are taking the courses out of order on their high school transcript. So for the new curriculum course proposal, we're looking to add ESL 3, which we will we would like to call Bridge. That's really bridging the students' language development. The purpose for these courses is really for our newcomer students, and our newcomers defined as students who have been in the country for 3 years or less, in EL students, because you could be in the country 3 years or less and not be an EL student, but are EL learners. And the purpose of this for these courses is really, and for this course ESL 3, is so that students are getting that language development support in all 4 domains of language, which is speaking, reading, writing, and listening, and to support that content area. So when they're in those content areas, is looking at that academic vocabulary that can support them when they go into those content areas, strategies that they can utilize when they are in those content area courses, and as they are progressing and becoming more proficient in English, in their English language development. ESL 3 will be the highest level for this course for our students who are newcomers in English language development in ESL. And so that is what we are proposing for next year, to look at ESL 1 and ESL 3, and then the following year bringing in ESL 2 again, so that it will be taken in order for the students to be able to participate in that. There are no costs for staffing in regards to cost recommendations. We're looking for that bridge at OE and OH at this time to look at about 40 texts at a cost of $85 per item, and a total, which will total about $3,500 in regards to the cost recommendation for this course to run at both high schools for next year.
Is that cost for the books, is that new, or is that to find, like, expanding it?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I apologize.
I didn't phrase it very well. Are those new books that we have to buy
Yes.
in order to run this
Correct.
ESL 3 class?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we will be coming back to the board with the recommendation for the text that's selected. We are here for information about the new course first. We'll come back for action at our next board meeting, and then the team will start the curriculum alignment and text selection process. We will come back for information. then go to 30 days display, and then come back for action. But we wanted to make sure that we were comprehensive of the entire plan and cycle from the onset.
So, Dr. Kincaid, I apologize if my question is repetitive. You probably answered it. But I thought I heard that we already offer the courses. We're just changing the title. No, that's
No,
not true.
we currently offer ESL 1 and 2.
1 and 2,
And,
okay.
Yeah, ESL 1 and 2, just like Dr. Kincaid said, that's what we're currently offering, and we would like to now add the ESL 3 course for the language development for our students. So all 3 courses will support English language development for our newcomer students. Depending also their class, when they go into each of those courses, depends also on the access score that they get, that they obtain, or their screener score when they're coming into the program.
So currently we rotate ESL 1 and 2. We do not offer them simultaneously. So they would like to continue that rotation, but then add ESL Bridge as a supplement to provide a 3-year sequence for our newcomers. So we're trying to strengthen the program to support our newcomers.
Is that the reason why we're not offering ESL 2 next school year?
So ESL 2 right now is the way it is presented. ESL 1 is at one high school, ESL 2 is at another high school. So what we're trying to do is those students who will be going into ESL 1 next, or excuse me, those students who are currently in ESL 1, right? So that moving them up to an ESL 2 course, and then ESL 2 to ESL 3. I apologize because it's, sorry, ESL 1 and 2 are not in that rotation. So those students will have that opportunity, and then next year develop what ESL 2 will look like for our students.
In addition to the ESL Bridge work that will be completed upon approval, we are also putting ESL 1 into a curriculum renewal to make sure that it is in alignment with our then ESL 1, 2, 3 sequence. So that work will also be done in conjunction with ESL Bridge for next year.
So the courses are sequential?
So the courses would be on rotation for what is currently 1 and 2, with then in addition to 3, which is the bridge. So a student could come in and be placed into a 1 or 2 and then a 3, or just be placed in a 3.
Okay.
It's really dependent on years in program or years in country in conjunction with their screener scores.
Okay.
So really trying to tailor student need with language development. Hence the realignment.
So is this additional supports? Like, there are other supports that our
Yeah.
no, okay.
Yes, you
Okay,
have
so
to
this-
provide support in content. This is a specific course for newcomers, and it's viewed as an elective to support that language acquisition.
I was going to ask, are 1 and 2, are those also in content with science, social studies?
No,
No,
it's just,
those are-
no. They do get support in those classes, and they could be through co-taught, blended, or self-contained model. But the foundations, connections, and bridge is solely to support language acquisition for those students that are eligible or qualify under newcomer. So it's an additional support on top of
The ESL.
content support.
Yes. So
How burdensome would it be? I'm wondering if, if it's possible to get like a landscape of kind of like the different courses and how they impact those different things. Would that be a possibility? I think that's something maybe we consider for the board. As I'm thinking about the questions, I'm wondering if some kind of like a pathway alignment of explaining the differences may be helpful.
I think a sample, if I could add on,
Yeah.
like a sample of like a student, like, Amy Murillo comes to Oswego East as a newcomer. What is she taking for freshman year? What is she taking her sophomore year, her junior year, kind of to see it through the student lens? I'm still not clear about why we're not offering English or ESL, or I should say connections, to next year. Don't we have students who would benefit from that and would qualify for that support?
For the, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. So to help understand it, there's 3 years of newcomer support
Mhm.
that is being offered. Foundations,
Mhm.
Connections, and Bridge. Foundations and Connections is for students whose ELP level in literacy proficient is from a 1.0 to a 2.5.
Got it.
There are students, for example, Sally comes in and she's a 1.0. So that year we're providing connections. Connections and foundations is very similar. The difference is we don't want the duplicate of that connections and foundations to occur in the transcript twice for consequential years because the students will be graded and it will appear as though they failed when they actually can benefit for more language support. So if Sally comes in at a 1.0 ELP and finishes foundations, their freshman year, their sophomore year, really doesn't matter what year because it really is based on their ELP, they can benefit from connection or the opposite. Again, because of 1.0 to 2.5. And then 2.6 to 3.4 is for those students at Bridge. So as part of the newcomer, as suggested, as mentioned, they have to be in the country for less than 3 consecutive years, come from a country that's non-English speaking, actually qualify to be an ML student, and then based on an ELP of 3.4 or lower. So in addition to all the content that a newcomer would get in ELA, in all the 4 core courses, this is an additional support of possibly 3 years, 1.0 to 2.5. They can get 2 years of that support. We have to give it a different name because of how it appears on the transcript, or Bridge, which is 2.6 to 3.4.
Yeah, so essentially a student can go Foundations, Connection, Bridge if they need 3 years of support, or depending on when they enter the cycle, they could go Connections, Foundation, Bridge, because both Foundations and Connections, as Dr. Dubiel said, supports that 1.0 to 2.5.
Okay.
So
Oh,
those
I get
two
it.
can be
Thank you.
taken
Got it.
Connections, Foundations.
Got it.
Correct.
The one
So-
and two was confusing.
Yes, we wanted to build longevity of support with flexibility of scheduling.
Got it. Right.
So
Got it.
hence the change in title because we didn't want it to go 1-2 versus 2-1.
That makes
As Dr. Dubiel said, didn't want students to appear to be going backwards in a sequence.
Okay. Now it all makes sense.
Do you anticipate that these curricula will collaborate intensely, I guess, with the core subject areas to support the specific vocab that's needed for or other academic skills and literacy skills for government class or biology or whatever the case may be?
That
Or
is-
is it a separate curriculum that just kind of holistically develops their English ability?
So that is the goal, because ultimately what we want our students to have is that academic vocabulary in all of those 4 domains and be able to support that within those content areas. So that is the goal. The ESL, I apologize. It is an extra support, as we would say, just for language development and language proficiency, because it cannot be considered as ESL support, because ESL has to be in a content area.
Yeah.
So those students would have this elective, right? And then have a content area EL class,
Right.
whatever that may be. So this is an extra support for that, but the goal for that is that this will help them with those strategies to develop that vocabulary, and hope with that collaboration as well with teachers is understanding this is the vocabulary that we're looking at, and in these different content area subjects. And it's especially one of the things is that this ESL support class will be great. It's a mixed grade level. So
Yeah.
it's not where it's just 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, more about their language proficiency. So yes.
The other thing I just want to highlight, because Dr. Dubiel, you responded to one of my questions, that students can also opt out of this if they, not that we would encourage that, but if they really want to take music and that's like their passion, we don't want to, they have an option to opt out, and hopefully they get all the support they need in other ways, right? So I just wanted to ask that question to make sure I'm understanding that correctly.
That is correct. The
Okay.
counselors meet with students and explain each of those courses and encourage them that they could benefit from that course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
ultimately, the students can decide.
I just know when you take up an elective course, you're often sometimes sacrificing a passion that a student might have, and I think families and students need to weigh that the cost benefit of that. So
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah, I had a question actually. What is the like, is it a semester-long course or a year-long course for foundations, connections, and bridges? Like,
It's a year-long course.
year-long course. So wait, all three of them or all three? Okay. So like, the whole point is to make sure that the students who are coming from different countries, as you were saying, who might not have that foundation of English proficiency from a standpoint of reading, writing, listening, and speaking,
Yes.
to be able to establish that and then integrate them into other courses.
Into
that
their
that's the
courses.
plan.
Because within language development, you're looking at academic language and social language. And so our goal is always the CALP, which is the cognitive academic language proficiency. And you need the social language in order for that to happen as well. So absolutely, that's where that's at. Great question. Thank you.
Actually, one more thing. What
Sure.
happens if? So I'm just really curious. What happens if, like Sally, for example, is excelling in reading and writing,
Yeah.
but they're struggling with listening and speaking? Like how, and they're like, does that mean that they're not able to progress to the next course, or?
Absolutely not. So when we're looking at language proficiency in regards to language and academic, right? We want to make sure that educators are able to then, when during their instruction, are able to provide opportunities for students to increase to increase their oracy through speaking. So are there opportunities within that class and opportunities for them to be active listeners and be able to produce that language? And it also depends on so what we look at for language development is something called the WIDA ELD can-do descriptors, right? So what we're looking at is if a student reaches a level 3, let's just say 3.4 on an access literacy proficiency, which is reading and writing, what we look at is, as teachers and when we're evaluating, is saying, okay, this student can access the standards and be able to show us, but based on those can-do descriptors, how are they going to be able to then demonstrate their understanding? But it should not stop them or be a hindrance to them moving on to a higher level of a class.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other questions?
No.
Sorry for the confusion
Thanks.
at the beginning.
No confusion. Just
More
Thank
easily
you, Dr.
confused.
Kincaid and Dr. Dubiel.
Well, yeah,
I was like,
the whole reason you're doing this is to prevent confusion, right?
that's right. So thank you
well,
so much.
thank you for the team and the collaboration involved. I know it was many hours of working through this. Doesn't even hit the surface of the amount of work that was gone into this. So really, thank you so much for your due diligence and the flexibility and really ensuring that educators were part of the process as well. So thank you for all the work. Again, many hours, and to all the staff out there who are part of this, thank you for your efforts as well.
Thank you. And do we need that breakdown that you were considering still?
Maybe not.
I don't want to put extra work. Yeah.
I don't need a
Everybody understands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Check.
Done. All right. Thank you for the questions. Yeah. 10.2, intergovernmental agreement, shared consultant services with the Village of Oswego.
So as part of the redevelopment of the old Turner middle school, since the building is located in the TIF district, which is a tax increment finance zone, we are required to do some due diligence, especially with the developer as it relates to things like pro forma, adherence to the TIF rules and law, which are very specific and technical. What you normally would do, you engage a firm that specializes in negotiating these types of deals. And we work with the Village of Oswego, who is our partner in this deal. And we interview a number of firms, and we settle on Johnson Research. This is a firm that's got over 30 years in doing this type of work. They've actually worked extensively with the city of Chicago, which, to give you some context, the city of Chicago has over 200 TIF districts in the city. They help with doing the report and doing the compliance that's required. So when we selected the firm, what we decided to do instead of each paying separately for the service of this firm, since we have similar intention of having co-development of this property, we decided to go jointly, and the cost of providing the technical support for the review of this project is $20,000, and each of the entity will pay $10,000 each. And the village of Oswego already approved this, and we just need to approve it here in order for the contract to be valid. Any questions?
And this, well, I guess my only comment was this is standard procedure, I would assume, for something like this.
Absolutely, because we just like the village doesn't, we don't have the technical knowledge. It's a very specialized field in helping us negotiate the best financial term to participate in the redevelopment of this project, which will be funded in large part with TIF funding.
Right. So basically, by us spending the $10,000, we're in a sense doing our due diligence to make sure that everything's being done.
Absolutely,
Okay,
that we
thank
can
you.
get the best deal from the developer in the development of this property in the interest of our taxpayers.
Yes, it's probably not just due diligence, it's probably fiscally responsible as well. Probably get that $10,000 back and then some. It's my assumption.
Do you foresee any situation where the village's interests are in
Diverges from ours?
yes,
Yeah.
that-
I don't think so.
because then at that point when the consultant have to pick which one?
No, I don't think so. And the reason being that we found out that the property was actually put in the TIF district, the Washington, Maine TIF district, intentionally in the event when the time comes and the district needs to redevelop the property, the benefit of having TIF increments actually helps to gin up, to encourage development from a private developer. So from the very beginning of the establishment of that TIF in the area, it was set up to assist the district in redeveloping the property. So that was always what was being contemplated from the beginning. And additionally, since we're not in the business of property development, the villages, that is what the village does. It makes sense to use their core competency in helping us get the best deal possible for the redevelopment.
So I will say that in the last 3 years, this is the second time we have brought in outside support when working with third-party and governmental entities. For example, when we were working around impact fees, we brought in a third-party consultant to help identify what was the best recommendation. Prior to this, there was a lot of, frankly, cold calling. Board members would call each other, or there'd be a lot of discussion. It became to be honest with you, a very politicized process. I'm not going to name a particular time, but it becomes very much a show of who has the most political capital, right? And we felt 2-3 years ago when I came in, that it was important, if we're going to start to work as good partners to each other, that we identify meaningful steps to pursue understanding where the line begins. We all have where the line begins around sharing fees, like impact fees, right? And so what we approached the village with at that point was that we should hire an outside party to review what those are. And so in this instance, in a similar way, yes, there are competing demands, right? They want to make as much as they do, and we want to gain as much return on ours, right? So at the end of the day, though, we all serve the same community body, right? And so in those instances where, sure, you could go back to a political process, right? And those look like bad mouthing the village or the park district or any of those things. You could go Mr. President, would you please call the village mayor, Mr. Kaufman, and say, hey, we think it should be this, and let's go grab lunch and make it that way, right? So I want to name this for the public because I think if we don't name it, people don't understand what we're trying to do differently here, which is we want to move out of a hyper political process. There's always some level of politics, right? Let's just not be naive about it. But there's a hyper political process that's aside from any reliance on an expertise judgment. So we've now worked together and we have identified a partnership, or this will subject the village to say, okay, we are going to agree to do this. At the end of that, we will see those same results and we can agree or disagree. We could even look at the results and say, you know what, we don't agree with this proposal, right? Go back to the drawing board, right? We may say, we don't believe these results, let's get another one, right? But ultimately, the goal is to find an objective source to help us get to the other side of this. Because I think a lot of times, governmental entities get stuck in, I guess, political wrangling when that's not necessary.
Dr. K, I will say though, you see that I've worked with different municipalities before in my career. I've never worked with this municipality that has been very open.
Very much.
They've never attempted to hide anything. They've been, whatever request of them to provide, they've been very open in doing that. And there's a recognition, unlike what I've seen before, that we serve the same master. And we serve the community of Oswego.
But we also serve a bunch of other communities.
Right.
And that's
Right.
kind of where my point
Right.
is, that, you know, what's good for Oswego may not be
a good
ideal
question.
for the whole school district.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I say that in context
Mhm.
that there's an openness to sharing information that we have to, you're absolutely right. We have to make a decision that is in the best interest of the folks that we represent here, which is in keeping with that. The negotiations that's been going on right now. When we start talking about contracts, the village retain its own attorney, and we retain two attorneys to serve our interests. So we are not being naive in saying whatever the village decides, we just gotta go along with it. The village has its own legal counsel. We have two legal counsel.
So-
that will look at, based on what the direction the board gives us, to make sure those things are achieved in writing, in an agreement, in a contract.
So this consultant is going to look at the whole project, make recommendations, but then we will have our own representative.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, yes. Absolutely, because at the end of the day, what will be the final determination is the RDA, redevelopment agreement. And that will be vetted by the village attorney, and it will also be vetted by the two attorneys that works on behalf of the school district.
Any other questions? No? Okay. No? 11.1. Moving to action items, right?
Before we move to action, was there a public comment from board members around the public forum?
Yes.
Clicking on this one.
Sure, yeah.
Sorry. No,
Okay,
we have a
yeah.
reminder. Sorry, we wanted to remind everyone that next month on March 9th, our board meeting will be student-led. Our second annual Speak and Spark student-led board forum. The theme is belonging and will feature many students ages K through 12. So please mark your calendar for Monday, March 9th at Plank Junior High, beginning at 6:30 p.m. We look forward to showcasing many of the clubs that help foster belonging across our school district.
Thank you.
No, great, great. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. All right, 11.1, action item. Approval of bills for payment. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to authorize the payment of bills in the amount of $34,882,878.76 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Saron?
Aye.
Miss C?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Miss Winmuth?
Aye.
Dr. Murillo?
Aye.
Miss Robinson?
Aye.
Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Action item 11.2, approval of OE diving board replacement. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve and award the contract for the Oswego High School Diving Board Replacement Project to Landmark Aquatic in the amount of $25,300 $391.
Second.
Any discussion? Nope.
Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Ms. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Wenmouth?
Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Dr. Mario?
Aye.
Ms. C?
Aye.
Mr. Saron?
Aye, motion passes 7-0. Action item 11.3, approval of personnel report. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the personnel report as discussed and presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to congratulate Dr. Campbell.
Yeah.
We haven't voted yet.
Oh, sorry.
And you stole my
On our-
That's okay. You're good. You go.
But thank you for all of your years of service. As you embark on this new adventure, we will definitely miss you here in Oswego. Mary Jo.
No, that's okay. I'm going to wait for the vote.
Congratulations.
Drum roll. Take the vote.
All right. I think, all right.
Ms. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Wenmouth?
Okay, here's where I say grudgingly. But grudgingly because we'll miss you, but so very happy for you and you deserve it. Aye.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Dr. Mario?
Aye.
Mr. Saron?
Aye.
Dr. Polak?
Aye.
Ms. C?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Motion passes 7-0.
Make us
Let you
proud,
go.
Superintendent Campbell.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Nobody seconded that.
Motion passes. We are adjourned.